So here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall two steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven? How do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Business Show. We have another phenomenal show for you tonight because of our guest expert, Raymond Couzens. He's sitting in the green room. He's ready to come on stage. He's chomping at the bit. Before we bring him up real quick, the Mind, Body, Business Show, that is a show that I have developed for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs. And the whole purpose of this show is to help you with experts that come on this show that are going to reveal their secrets to success, like Raymond will, and all past guests have done. And what you can do is simply take notes, and then once the show is over, put those notes into action, maybe the following day. And what I found the biggest and easiest path to success was simply modeling it. And model is just a fancy word for copy. And so I know just based on past guests that we've had on the show, to a person, as entrepreneurs, we just love helping people. And so you have the permission of myself and Raymond. And if he decides to say, no, you don't, he'll say so when he comes on. But you have permission to basically copy his concepts, copy what he does, model it. And then, and if necessary, give credit where credit's due, like if he gives a quote or something, that kind of thing. Just do it with integrity. The Mind, Body, Business Show is about what I call the 3 pillars of success. What happened was I ended up interviewing many successful entrepreneurs, and I began studying only successful people for a little over a decade. And as we're talking about authors, we're talking about mentors and coaches of mine that I would either hire or work with, authors that are with us today, some that are not, just by reading their books. And over and over and over, 3 things kept floating to the top. It's like, what makes them more successful than, say, someone like me? And it turned out to be these 3 pillars, I call them, of success. And these 3 pillars are part of the name of this very show. Mind, which means of each and every successful person that I studied had a very powerful and, even more importantly, a flexible, extremely flexible mindset. And body, they all took care of themselves. All the successful ones took care of themselves, both nutritionally and through exercise. And it's just a regular exercise. We're not talking about being a world-class bodybuilder or a supermodel. It's just about taking care of yourself. And then business. Business is so multifaceted. And what these individuals did was they had mastered the skill sets that are required to build, nurture, and grow a successful business. And there are many skill sets, and to master any one of them can take an extreme amount of time. The good news is you don't have to master them all. I mean, what skill sets are we talking about? Marketing, systematizing, sales, team building, leadership. I could keep going for quite some time. The good news is you personally do not have to master every single one of those skill sets in order to become successful. How do I know this? Because of all the people I've interviewed and all of the studying I've been doing of successful people. And the answer lies in, if you are able to master just one of those skill sets, one of them, then the rest can fall into place quite easily. And I actually mentioned it by name in that list just a moment ago. And that one skill set, if you want to know what it is, I don't know, maybe you don't want to know. Yes, that one skill set is the skill set of leadership. When you have mastered the skill set of leadership, and let's say you do not have a mastery of the skill of marketing or team building or sales or systematizing, but you do leadership, then, well, now you can go find those people who have mastered those skill sets and lead them in your company and fill those gaps. Pretty simple, pretty awesome, pretty amazing. Now the pressure's off and it's time to pivot to mastering the skill set of leadership, isn't it? All right. And another great quality of very successful people that I found is to a person, they are very voracious and avid readers of books, and not just any books, but the right books. And with that, I'd like to segue very briefly into a quick segment I affectionately call Bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by reachyourpeaklibrary.com.
Yeah, there you see reachyourpeaklibrary.com. And please do yourself a favor and instead of clicking away, write these resources down and then go visit them after the show. Here's the thing. I just really would hate for you to take your attention away from the screen, because when you're doing other things, you're also not listening as intently. And I would just hate for that to be the moment that Raymond Couzens just gives that nugget that could change your life for better for the rest of your life. And you miss it because you took your attention away to go checking out a resource on the side. Rather than do that, stick with us. This is just a suggestion, a recommendation. Take notes, take voracious notes, write. I mean, actually, literally write on a piece of paper if you have it. Otherwise, take notes on your computer. And by the way, if you're watching on a phone, it's best if you can do it on a desktop or a laptop so you can interact with us easier. Phone works fine, though. It's just as good. So Reach Your Peak Library. That is a resource I had developed. And some of you won't believe me on this, but I literally had this developed with you in mind. And why is that? I myself did not begin reading books on a regular basis until about almost 10 years ago. And now I was age 47. You can do the math. I'm nearing 57. And then I discovered, quote unquote, this whole thing about reading the right books. And when I started doing it, I said, wow, it started changing my life in my business in profound ways. So I really got hooked on reading books. And I personally prefer Audible, where you can listen. And that was another kind of aha moment that enabled me to listen without getting eye fatigue, which is one of the reasons I didn't like reading. And now I love it. And so what I did was I compiled a list of only the books that I have personally read that also had a decent impact on me and my business and or my personal life. It could be decent, it could be profound, but it had a very positive impact. And so not every book is in this list. And I'll be adding to it as I continue to read and find those great gem books. But just pull this up. This is not a site that was built for the purpose of making money. If anybody knows, books, the margin is wafer thin and they don't sell for very much money to begin with. So it's not there for money. It's there for you to basically be able to pick a book quickly that or at least you have a good deal of certainty that you're not going to be wasting your time on that book because at least one other successful person, yours truly, vetted them personally. So that is it's literally my gift to you. So speaking of gifts to people, yeah, the guest expert, he's a gift. Raymond Couzens is coming up, and he's going to come up right now.
It's time for the Guest Expert Spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. It is the one, the only, Raymond Couzens. Yeah. Welcome to the show, Raymond. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm having a great day. I have a great day every day.
Ooh, we're going to get deeper into that in just a moment. That's a great opening. Before we jump in and I give you that formal introduction that you deserve out of respect, real quick, some housekeeping. We have some amazing sponsors and we have a couple things to give away for you tonight. And one of them is by this amazing man. He's got a gift for you. So stay to the end. In addition to that, the Big Insider Secrets, you see that red logo, that circle looks like a stamp, boom, right above Raymond's left shoulder. It's on the right side of the screen as you're looking on, if you're watching on video. If you're listening on podcast, it is the biginsidersecrets.com. Don't forget the word the biginsidersecrets.com. They are sponsoring and giving us the ability to give away every single show a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort. And I can't wait to see who wins. We are able to give this away every single show, thanks to Jason Nast, my dear friend, who is the CEO and founder of the Big Insider Secrets. So thank you, Jason. Thank you to the Big Insider Secrets. And I can't wait to see who wins. So stay on to the end, and you must be watching live to qualify. And then we have a couple more, and we'll get to it here. If you're struggling with putting a live show together, and it's overwhelming, and you want a lot of the processes done for you while still enabling you to put on a high quality show and connect with great people like Raymond Couzens and grow your business all at the same time, then head on over to carpetbombmarketing.com. Carpet Bomb Marketing. Saturate the marketplace with your message. And one of the key components that is contained in the Carpet Bomb Marketing system is one that you'll learn how to absolutely master, is the very service we use to stream our live shows right here, literally right now, on the Mind Body Business Show. Over the course of the past over 9 years, I've tried so many of these quote unquote TV studio solutions for live streaming. And I'll tell you, bar none, StreamYard is the best of the best because it combines supreme ease of use along with unmatched functionality. And so you can start streaming quality, really high quality, professional looking live shows for free. You can do that right now with StreamYard, but don't do it right now. Instead, just write down this address and visit it after the show. And you see it on the screen. It's RYP. So that stands for Reach Your Peak. RYP.im/stream live, all one word. RYP.im/stream live. Go ahead and visit that after the show's over. Take great notes because it is now time to bring on the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Raymond Couzens. He is here. He is now. You want to pay attention. And now I'm going to introduce this amazing man. And then we're going to pick his beautiful big brain and see what's getting him to all the success he's seen. Independent-minded retirees hire Raymond Couzens because they can't trust the banks or hedge funds or pros. So he teaches them how to develop self-discipline and his proven method. Bottom line, they grow their funds guaranteed. Now, officially, formally, Raymond Couzens, everybody. Here he is.
Thank you, Brian, and thank you to everybody that's out there that's tuned in to this live TV show.
Yes. What I like to do is, real quick, we're going to say hello to a few folks that are hopping on. Gracie Ruth Melendez, thank you for coming on. Hello to you. Greetings from LA. Wow, you're a neighbor. I'm just up north, not too far. And yes, she is going to take notes. I love it. That is just the way that's the way to success for sure. Yeah, and we're talking about books. So Melissa Fortune, my goodness, The Magic of Thinking Big is actually the first book that I purchased back in college in the not self-help, but motivational arena. To this day, have bought so many copies of that book for other people. Wow. I have several copies myself. That's interesting, Melissa. Very cool. Right. Fantastic. So great for all of you for coming on. I appreciate that. And yeah, stay on with us, ask questions, interact. We love that. And so, Raymond, you've been around the block. You know how to achieve success. We had a nice chat before we went on live. I want to bring up a couple things that came up then. But what I would like to do is I like to peel back the onion, so to speak. Open that curtain. What's going on behind there? Where's that wizard? And for you, what I like to do is find out what is driving you every single day. When we as entrepreneurs wake up, we know every single day is going to be we're going to face challenges. We're going to face setbacks. We're going to face issues. We're going to face problems that need solving that's what we do. That's what an entrepreneur does. They are problem solvers. But for you, knowing that is in front of you every day, when you wake up, you get out of bed and you kind of come to, you prop yourself up out of bed. What is going on in your beautiful brain that is keeping you going, just solid, strong, day in, day out, week in, week out, every single day? And how do you power through the day? What is going on in your brain to enable you to do that?
We refer to it in this business as our why. Mm-hmm. Why? And why is a wonderful question because it enables you to dig deep when you're talking to people. But as a driver of self, my why is my family. My surviving family, because they didn't all survive. But I want to be able to spend the rest of my time traveling in North America, spending time with my children and my grandchildren. And that costs money. Uncle Sam's not going to pay for that.
That's fantastic. And oh my gosh, I think you hit the proverbial, I can say it, nail on the head with determining your why. And yeah, there are great exercises one can go through to determine your why. And it's usually the most powerful whys are outside of yourself, just like Raymond's is. His is his family. I've been through a process where we would go through and we would write down a lot of different things we would think would be our why. And then we would just find the big one, circle it. That's my why. And I did that several times. And every single time my why came back to the same thing. It was my wife. Without her, I wouldn't have my family, like my kids. And everything I do is for us, to have a better tomorrow than we had today. Always, continually. I would crawl over broken glass for miles. It wouldn't matter. Mm-hmm. I would do anything. And that, my why is my why. Raymond's is his, and yours, who's listening and watching, might be something else. It's very important to find out what that why is. And it's also important to make it something outside of yourself, rather than say, my why is to make sure I have $1 million and I can retire comfortably. It's like, well, that's all about you, and you may not work as hard for that. We will do more for others than we will for ourselves. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And when you're deciding, when you're looking for your why, you're going to come up with something. And so when you do that, you ask yourself again, why is that? And then you go 5 whys deep to get to the root of the matter. That's just the way it works.
Yes. We would say a similar thing. For what greater purpose? Mm-hmm. Yes. Perfect. So everyone recognizes that is part of mindset. And you can understand now, if you've not heard of this kind of thing before. Many of you, I'm sure, are astute business people that are watching and listening that have heard things like this before. And that's the thing. It's okay to hear things over and over again. This is something I also learned, Raymond, was how many times have we heard something more than once and we just start discounting it and shutting off our brain because, oh, I know that. But here's the thing for everyone. Repetition is the key to mastery. So not only, should we not discount it and have a negative kind of emotion toward, oh God, again, it should be the opposite. Say, oh yeah, I get to do this one more time and instill it even deeper in my psyche and my subconscious. So
and don't just repeat words, Brian. The most powerful motivator, or what will activate you in the most powerful way mentally, is to draw mental pictures and keep going over those pictures and looking at the details and putting all that together. And that will make you more likely to act.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like for you, it could be pictures of your vacationing with your family. And you could take it even farther and say, well, what do you feel? Is there wind? Is there a temperature associated with it? What do you hear? Your family's laughing and going, thank you, Dad, or thank you, Grandpa, or thank you, whatever, right? Or thank you, husband, whatever. All that. Yeah. The more immersive you can make it, the more powerful and the more attainable it will become. So you've been doing some really good work over there, Mr. Couzens. I love it.
I made a vision board, took a JPG of it, and that's the screensaver on my second laptop. So I look at that throughout the day, every day, and that helps.
There you go. See, these are all, if you accumulate these types of tips and model what Raymond's talking about and if you haven't been doing that, by the way, just start doing it, do things like that. And that's a perfect way to do it. A lot of people would do a vision board. The old school days was magazines, cut them out, glue them on a big poster board and stick them on your wall. Still, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a lot quicker to go to Google. You could search the images you're looking for and copy paste into your own collage, if you will, a series of pictures, just like Raymond has done, and make it a screensaver. That's a perfect idea. The second you fire it up, you see it. That's all you see. You eliminate a window in front that you minimize it. There it is behind it. Always constant reminding. So I think that's a genius idea.
Thank you. Absolutely.
And see, that's the thing with a lot of people think that success is some mystery, that it's like harder than, it's so difficult because it's just a secret and nobody knows how to do it. There's really no secret to it. It's just following the footsteps of others who have achieved it. That's it. So find a mentor, a coach, somebody who can help guide you, who will be willing to, and literally be willing to pay for it and pay dearly, because we have skin in the game. You learn at a deeper level. Many, many coaches. That's how so many people have crushed it in life. Sports, you name it. Everyone has a coach. No one got there 100% on their own. I haven't met one person, not one, that has done that. So when it comes to books, Raymond, I was talking about how I hadn't read till I was, kind of old, 47 already. That's a long time before I started reading, on a regular basis. Would you consider yourself to be an avid reader?
Well, I'll answer it this way, Brian. Here's what they said about me in middle school. Well, that guy must have swallowed a dictionary. So English was my strong suit. Mathematics was somewhere, in the rearview mirror. And I struggled with that all through school. But I did, in the end, graduate in everything. But if I had to be squirreled away on a desert island someplace, the books I would want with me would be two. One is a collection of 66 books that is a bestseller. People recognize it as the Bible. Can't go wrong with that one. It's the Human's Manual. And the second one would be Napoleon Hill's Laws of Success. 17 Principles to Live and Die By. The man was a genius.
So I want to give a little bit of extra oomph to what you were just talking about by way of something fun here. Oh, yeah. Raymond Couzens dropping smart bombs of wisdom, everything. Because did you hear what he said? If he were stranded on an island, he would want two books in his hand. The Bible. I love that one. And Laws of Success by Napoleon Hill. And there you go. So here's one thing I like to recommend to folks, Raymond. I do this because I do not have Laws of Success in my library. And so what I do is I take notes on what the guests are saying, like you. And whenever they recommend a book, like you just did, I have the Bible. I have it on my phone. I have it everywhere. I don't have 17 Laws of Success. If you don't have either of those books, the first thing I do, I'd be curious if I would imagine the Bible's on Audible too, but I go straight to Audible, like right after the show's over, and I add it to my library. That way I don't forget, and it's there, and it's waiting. And I have a line of books that I'm reading. I was just reading one earlier today, listening, and that's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. You model success. If Raymond Couzens says this book is impactful, and if I was on a deserted island all by myself, that I would want those two books. Do you think that might be something that you would want to try to pick up and read? I would say yes. I'm going to. Absolutely.
That was Napoleon's first book. Everybody knows Think and Grow Rich.
That's
what people think of. That came second. Before that was the Laws of Success.
That's fantastic.
And I read them in the order of Think and Grow Rich, and then I got clued into the Laws of Success, and it made such a difference reading them in that order, because now it expanded my mind. I'm going to go back and reread Think and Grow Rich, and it's going to take on new meaning for me.
Oh, I got to ask you this, Raymond. Have you ever read a same book more than once? It sounds like you have.
Oh yeah.
So tell me this. You'll remember this. So you read it once, then you go back to read it again. Was it the same book? I mean, was everything?
No, there were things in there that I didn't see first time through.
Okay. All right. Hold on. I got a prop for this. All right. And for those of you that are on a podcast, I'm holding a book up. It's a physical book. Okay. This one's by my buddy, Les Brown. He was on the show. And so what I want to ask you, let's say it was this book, just as an example, Raymond, that you're talking about. Now, I want to ask you, you said the book, there were different things in it. So did the pages, did somebody change the wording in the book? Did somebody pull pages out of the book? Did somebody alter or change this book in any way that you're aware of?
Here's the thing, they didn't. But what is going on is when you wake up, your conscious mind kicks into gear and it runs all day long. You've got the power to control it, but unless you do control it, it's going to go into chicken with a head cut off mode and take you who knows where. So if you want to do something specific, you have to develop the skill of focusing your mind and then keeping it focused there for as long as you can. You can't do it for 20, you're waking 16 hours, but do it for as much of your productive day as you can, and you'll have more success.
Words of wisdom. And then something I found, because I've done the same thing, I've gone over material over and over and over again. One in particular, I would listen to an audio of a book that was my quote unquote Bible for doing a seminar. I would teach another gentleman's his courses to his students for a 2-day seminar. I would do all of day one. And so I would listen to this. That was my quote unquote Bible for that seminar. And so I listened to it. And I'm like, what the heck was that? I don't remember that. And here's the thing. It's the book didn't change. The thing that changed was you. It's because you've learned one thing and now you're ready for the higher level, the next step. It's always been there. It just didn't resonate. It didn't attach because you weren't ready for it quite yet. It's amazing. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I listened to that same thing over and over, Raymond. I mean, it has to be approaching over 50.
Here's something I've noticed. I watch a lot of different things, online, and every once in a while I'll get a nugget and I got to do something with that. And then a bit later on, I'll realize that nugget was in a book I'd already read. Probably written by Russell Brunson. The guy's incredible. But yeah, you just don't get it all first time through. You don't. It's impossible.
And that helps it to fall in that same bucket that I mentioned earlier, which is repetition is the key to mastery. Mm-hmm. It all is a similar type of concept. The more you practice something, the better you're going to get at it. The more you read something, the more you're going to learn and be open to learning, because it just slaps you in the face and like, wow, I don't was that there before? That was awesome.
Yeah. They say 10,000 hours to master something.
Yes.
10,000.
Yes. I don't know if I did that much, but of this one, but it felt like it.
Yeah.
And it was good. That was not like, I looked forward to listening to it over and over and over and over because it was just so value rich. Mm. So moving along into the realm. So we've covered a little bit about mindset, and reading is a good part of that. It feeds your brain. When it comes to taking care of our bodies, and I'm just curious for you personally, Raymond, how important is it to you to stay fit, to do exercise, to eat and drink in a healthy manner? Does it in any way affect the outcome of your business?
Absolutely, yes. An unqualified yes. And here's an interesting little snippet. I was not the health nut in our marriage. I was the guy that was up at Wawa scoring a donut. My wife was the health nut. I outlived her.
Wow.
But I did smarten up a little bit. I noticed I was putting on the pounds, and I started looking after myself better. And now my weight is back down where I want it. I exercise by walking. That's it. I just walk 2 to 3 miles, maybe 4 miles every day. And halfway around the walk, I reward myself with a coffee. And I've given up donuts, but I still have a coffee to celebrate the wins for the day. Always celebrate your wins.
I'm writing that down.
Yeah. So yeah, health's very important. If you don't have health, you don't have nothing.
My gosh, that is so true. When I was younger, I was like, yeah, whatever. And then I got older and I had incidents like not long ago. I got not a free. Oh my God, it wasn't anything close to free, but I got a ride to the emergency room probably 5 weeks ago or so. Didn't know what was happening. I had no idea. It was the weirdest thing ever. But at that moment, I literally thought this could be it. I mean, it was just the weirdest thing that ever happened to me. Turned out I'm fine. It was just a common thing that I was unaware of, but it freaked me out. And it makes you think like, wow, all the way from our house to the hospital in that ambulance, I was just thinking, okay, is everything in order? Is my wife going to be taken care of? Yes. Are my kids going to be okay? Well, they have my wife, so yes. And my kids are adult kids, so one of them was married. She's doing great. Just that's all I could think about. And the neat thing was, I feel like we're pretty ready for that, but I'm not ready to die by any stretch. I've got a lot to do left in this world and help a lot of people. But it is, and I've been in other situations where I had these weird things going on with my heart, and you just don't know. And then there will be things that actually drop you, put you on in, make you bedridden, and now you can't even produce. You can't do anything with business. You can't help with your family, and it really makes you go deep inward and find out, and think about how important it is. So you'll think twice about, like as you have, eating that donut. You'll think twice about, getting a beer or a wine or whatever, or drinking that second bottle of wine. It is a wake-up call, and it's hard to get anybody to be convinced to do that until something happens to them or a loved one, right? And that's the unfortunate thing, is that we all wait. We're humans. We wait till something bad happens and say, okay, now I'll adjust.
I picture it as a three-legged stool. And if you've ever sat on a three-legged stool, the most comfortable is if all three legs are the same length. So the three legs in my life are health and wealth and relationships. And those happen to be the three biggies in the make money online world too.
So what happens if any of those legs is either shorter than the other or just missing?
You're out of balance. You could fall off. You probably will fall off. You've got to have perfect alignment in all things. All things.
Yeah, and that comes to prioritizing one's life in those areas, doesn't it?
It does.
And that's, it's one of those things that can be difficult if you don't know a very simple way to go about it. And that is one technique I've learned is to schedule it on your own calendar as if it were a client appointment and treat it as such.
Yes.
And just the fact of doing that, Raymond, if you mark it as, say, busy, like on Google Calendar, and now all of your scheduling apps that you have people come in to schedule calls with you, potential clients, it sees busy and it says that that's not available. Right. So if you treat it that way, it now becomes valuable to you because that is a time slot that you could have taken a call and could have made more money. So that time slot is worth money. So that puts skin in the game if you schedule out, say, a workout. If you schedule.
What do they say, Brian? Great minds think alike. I could show you my Google Calendar. It's 7 days a week, morning till night, all filled out. I live by it. It's not on there. I don't do it.
Ooh.
Simple. And I do time blocks, set an alarm on the phone. I'm going to do this for an hour. Boom. The alarm goes off. Time to stop. Doesn't matter where I am. Stop. Put that away. Do the next activity, whatever's scheduled.
Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? If it's not on there, I'm not doing it. Wow. Yes, another bomb dropping moment. I had a previous guest on here, Raymond. Actually, the first time I ever did that was a young lady, and she just loved it. And she's like, hey, you should run a contest and see which guest gets the most bomb droppings. Wow, that was funny.
Well, this morning I blew it. I had an activity at 8:00 that I didn't show up for because I'd forgotten to put it on my calendar right away when I got that. I'll do that later. Later didn't come. Now I'm in big doo-doo with somebody.
That I can't tell you how many times that's happened with me as well. Or I would forget to put it on there. Someone else would come on and schedule a slot, and then I'd come back and go, oh, yeah, I'm supposed to do this day. And I go to put it on there. It's like, oh, no. I hate that. So, yeah, it's great. It's a great tool. It just takes getting used to making it a habit of, like you say, the first time you think about it, put it in. I mean, they're accessible on your phone, which we all have on us at all times. So it's not like there's any excuse not to do it. It's just sometimes we forget we're humans, and that's cool. Let's see. Checking the time. We're doing fantastic. And I wanted to pivot over to business a little bit. And I wanted to ask you more about what you do personally. Like, who is it that you cater to? What is your target market? And who do you help in your business?
My target market is somebody who is primarily a male, retired, and living in Florida, or maybe Arizona, the Carolinas possibly, but fairly limited, the popular areas for retirees. And they've got a few dollars that they want to grow. and they want to be able to do that without losing their shirt, as they say. So
okay. So to be clear, they're retired and not working, and so taking their current assets and grow what they have. Is that correct?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
That's phenomenal. And you said primarily males, so I'm guessing there's room in there for females as well?
Well, interesting fact that women are actually better, more successful business people than men, would you believe? So absolutely, yes. We don't discriminate here at the Tortoise Trader Academy.
And yeah, the name again, would you repeat that? The Tortoise?
The Tortoise Trader. So you think of the tortoise and the hare, the fable. Tortoise was slow and steady. That's the way I trade, slow and steady.
There we go. There's the explanation. So I put up a link on there. That's literally a shortened URL for a Facebook page. So it was a long URL, the original one. So this will save you some typing. You can visit that at ryp.im/the Tortoise Trader. Tortoise is TORTOISE for those of you listening on podcasts that were not sure. And it's ryp.im/the Tortoise Trader. So if you want to, that's one way to connect with Raymond, but we have a much better, more powerful way for you to connect with them. And we'll be sharing that here toward the end of the show. So you don't want to miss that. Trust me. It's an amazing thing that Raymond is doing. Yes.
And if you're not a tortoise at heart, I have good news for you. I have discovered that the foreign exchange markets enable you to like 10x what you can do on the regular stock market. So that's something I'm learning to do right now that I'll be teaching later on.
Oh, fantastic. So we're going to have the tortoise and the hare trader.
Aha.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. So when you go through your daily business and everything just running smoothly like it does every single day. No issues ever, right? I'm just kidding. Yeah. So, we do make mistakes as we're going along. I know you have. And one of the things is to make as many as you possibly can so you can get to the solution and do it right and continue. Yeah. But if you were to pick out one that really sticks out in your mind, that one big setback, that hit that you learn from, that's the key to everybody. Setbacks are temporary. What was it? Willie Jolly would say this: a setback is a setup for a comeback. I love that. And so Willie Jolly is an author of books. Check him out. Great. He's on the reachyourpeaklibrary.com as well. So if you could think of one that just sticks out, that like smacked you, you learn from it, but man, it had an impact. And most importantly, what you learned from it, what would that be?
Well, here's a little story, Brian, since you ask. Back in 2008, you remember the big recession, and my period as an employed person ended at that time. In 2010, I started a construction business of my own, incorporated it, and by 2015, I was so successful that all my clients fired me because they didn't need me anymore, because they'd hired their own employees who I'd trained, and now they didn't need me anymore. So that was a bit of a wake-up call.
So how did you pivot from that?
I got a job. I got a job until 2020, and I got in a fisticuffs with the owner's top client, and he said to my boss, it's him or me. So guess who got fired? And so I'm back as the entrepreneur in the construction business once again.
Wow, back to construction. Okay, that
I know that's a bit of a departure from trading. Trading was something that I picked up to help fill out the valleys in the construction income. I mean, I've been in construction for 57 years now. So, I mean, I can do it in my sleep. The other things take a little more effort, but they could be a lot more rewarding. And then I don't have to put up with any of that construction rubbish ever again, which will make me very happy.
Oh, so many. I mean, I hope you are all listening and taking voracious notes at this moment. There were so many nuggets in that. One is, so Raymond is not just a construction guy. He's an entrepreneur in his blood. You were telling me a story before we came on about how much you love music, and then what you did because you love to play guitar, and what you did to help not monetize it, but write off your passion with those guitars. Would you mind telling that quick story?
Sure. So back in 2015, as it happens, I got the urge, the itch to pick up the guitar again after a 20, 30-year hiatus. And so one led to another. And so I had a nasty case of what they call GAS, guitar acquisition syndrome. And I got this corporation, which is not doing too much now because I'm back employed again. And I thought, well, I'll pivot to being what I call the lazy luthier. And I'll tell Uncle Sam that this is a business. I'm buying guitars, I'm fixing them up, and then I'm reselling them. And in the meantime, I get to play them. It's wonderful.
So I called you the guitar flipper. I love it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
It's like, I know of people that do this with cars. They would buy them, enjoy them, like high performing vehicles, and spruce them up a little if they need it, if they're a little older, and then sell them and maybe make a profit or at least break even. So go on and get another one and watch her rinse, repeat to basically fund a passion. There's nothing.
Yeah. And I mistakenly thought that with retirement coming up, I could even do this full time. If I finished working for someone else, I could just do this full time. Unfortunately, I discovered that flipping guitars, there's not really much money in it. I won't say no money in it, but there's very little. It takes a long time. It's hard work. There's better ways to make money if you just want to make money, quite honestly.
And that's cool. But at least it funded your passion for that period. And the mindset was the key to everything there. You're really good at pivoting because you have that mindset. You're middle of the road. Your go-to is construction. You know it inside and out. Obviously, it's not your passion just by watching your face when you talked about it. And,
my babies. 130 of them at one time.
That's right. 130 guitars he had at one point in time. And if I wrote it down correctly, 30 amplifiers to go with that. And over 100 effects pedals.
And a recording studio. I didn't mention that.
Ooh, no, you didn't. So did you flip that?
It's all gone. Sold the lot. Got 25 guitars left. They're all in pieces in storage down in Florida, and I just have the one acoustic with me now.
Okay. So I won't ask you to come out and play it. We went through that discussion right before.
We did. Nah, not going there. Not that I'm shy or bashful or anything, but I'm not going there.
No problem. Not at all. One of my favorite topics of this show when it comes up, because we're talking about how to become for other people, how to become successful, how to model success. This guy right here, Raymond Couzens, how you can do what he does. Just do what he does, model success, listen to the way he thinks, read the books he reads, and just follow your notes that you've been taking so avidly throughout this whole show, haven't you? Just do that. But what I like to find out, so one of the keys to any business's success is it always falls into this one area, this one segment, and it's a magical segment. It's a magical skill set, and that is the skill set of marketing. Marketing is the lifeblood of any and every business. And this is what I find really interesting, Raymond, is especially when we had this little thing called a pandemic run through, that the first department that was cut across the board was the marketing department. That's like cutting off your own bloodline. And I don't get that. But I'm just curious. You've been in business a long time. You've been an employee. You've done a lot of things. And marketing can change and does change. What is effective today may not be effective tomorrow, maybe 10 years from now. It's kind of like the real estate. It's cyclical. Sometimes it never comes back. What used to work 40 years ago still doesn't work today. But for you, if you were to pick the one thing right now that's working for you, that is the best form of marketing for you, and if you were able to pinpoint that, what would that one thing be?
Be a nice guy, because people don't buy products, they buy you, your personality. If you can sell you, and if you can sell your customer on himself, you will just mathematically, for certain, end up helping that person with something physical at some point, and you'll get paid for it. So just make sure that it's ethical, it's good for them. Don't chase the buck. It's like chasing your tail. Chase serving them, chase what they need, what they want. Very often those don't quite align, but you can help them with it. But yeah, you're selling you, basically.
And you said
attraction marketing.
Yeah. You said one thing that was very profound and had deep meaning. I don't even know if you realize it. You will when I say it, which was sell a customer on himself or themselves. Yep. And that tells me that your attention is on them, not on you.
Exactly.
Like you just said, serve them. Yep. That was that one phrase right there. If anyone gets anything out of this entire 1 hour show, remember that, write it down, frame it, and just say, sell a customer on themselves. It makes it about them, not about you.
And
what are their pains, their fears?
How you do that is you ask questions, not just any questions, open-ended questions. And you just peel the onion layer by layer. Take the intel, make some notes. Why is that? Just keep digging. And they'll love it. People love to talk about themselves.
And they're basically showing you the roadmap on how to get them to your service. If it's a fit. You'll also learn in that question and answer session if they're a fit. Because most, percentage-wise, usually most are not a fit. And that's okay. This process will tell you if they're a fit, if they're a match, and then you take them to the next phase, which is, all right, let's open you up to the opportunity. Let's how do you want to move forward? Cash, check, or charge? Let's go. Let's get you the service you need to help you. I love that. I mean, that was a bomb dropping moment, but I was not going to interrupt you. I was not going to do it there. We'll do a makeup bombing run here in just a little bit. So, oh my goodness. Oh yes. So this, I really want to know this one. This is a very compelling one. I don't ask this question very often. If there was one person that you could talk to from history, one person, you only get one, who would that be and why would that be?
Well, he's got three names. First one is Wolfgang, middle one is Amadeus, and the last one you'll recognize is Mozart. And what do I want to ask him? How did you do that? I mean, the man was just up there all by himself. He stood head and shoulders above the greats like Beethoven and Bach. The man was incredible. He was a bit of a womanizer too, but we won't go there. He was just the consummate musician, and I listen to a lot of his music because it just inspires me.
You're attracted to excellence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's interesting. And I never thought about this, but it just made me, as you were talking, a name came into my head of someone who just recently passed, and it was Kobe Bryant. The guy I've never seen anyone more driven. Maybe Michael Jordan was, but I didn't follow him that tight. I hear he was pretty driven as well. It's just, if you watched him play from when he started and watch him grew, he improved so unbelievably much in every facet of the game. And then you find out why when you listen to all these off the court little films and things that he talks about, what he did on a day-to-day basis. First one in the gym, he beat everybody else, and he's the superstar, and he would be the last one to leave. And just the work ethic, everything he touched, even after he finished playing, just gold, turned to gold. Yeah. It wasn't magic. Yeah. It's because the dude was just so intense. He was so driven to excel at everything. And he at great sacrifice to personal time with people as well. So it's just, yeah. So I felt a similar type of, it's a completely different genre. You go from musician to athlete, but a similar thing is they had mastered their particular skill set well above and beyond their counterparts. So yeah, pretty cool. Thank you for sharing that. That is phenomenal.
You're welcome.
You're an amazing guy. And speaking of being an amazing guy, let's get a little personal. Do you get to do anything outside of work? I mean, do you give time for yourself to enjoy when you're not working? Like, do you have maybe a hobby that you like to do, or maybe several hobbies that you enjoy to kind of unwind, maybe de-stress, whatever it is? What do you like to do in your own the free time that you've given yourself?
It's got to be music. So I'm teaching myself to sight read sheet music and be able to play it on the guitar. And I'm not presently, but on my list of to-dos is to develop my ear training, which was something I used to be pretty good at when I was younger, and then you kind of let things go, and I have to reacquire that skill. Music's in my blood, it's my passion, and so it's natural for me to relax, unwind, turn off the business side of things, and just pick up the guitar and plunk around,
Do you ever embark on writing your own music, or do you like to play already existing music?
Oh my goodness. I'm just a copycat.
There's nothing wrong with
stuff that other people have done rather well with.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I was just curious if you had written any original pieces that you're fond of. No inspiration to go on that and just relax, learn, get better.
Well, I did buy a book on songwriting, but I never did get very far with it.
I mean, everything in itself is its own art, isn't it? That's why they have people that are only songwriters but not musicians, because maybe they haven't mastered the art of playing the music, but they're really good at writing it.
The riches is in the niches, as we say.
Yeah, there's actually a somewhat new show that's out. I don't know if you get it there. You're in southwestern British Columbia, correct?
At the present time. That's my physical location today, and it has been for a short while. I'm planning to travel soon, but yeah, that's where I am now.
There's a really interesting show that's been out a couple of years. It's called Songland. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's where they have very prominent, some are superstar musicians, 1, 2, 3. There's 4 people on a panel kind of thing, and they bring on music writers. And they will choose the winner of different music writers. They'll choose their composition to include in one of their special guests, who's another superstar, next album.
Nice.
Oh my, yeah, it's really neat, really creative. They help craft their song, rewrite their song sometimes in some ways. They get assigned one of those people that are on the panel to help them, and then it's like a contest. It's awesome. But the cool thing with that one, the interesting thing I found is these are songwriters, and they come on and they perform their own music every single time. And I'm like, oh my God, this person is so great. They should be the singer, the player of the guitar. They should be the talent, not just the writer behind the scenes. You know?
Yeah.
The talent is amazing. But there are those that specialize in one or the other and are better at it and end up that's their lane. So that's cool.
There are. Elton John was such a person. You could throw anything at him and he could turn it into a melody, a song, anything.
Just like anybody could throw their money at you and you can grow it for them.
Absolutely. That's what we do here.
Speaking of that, we are at 5 minutes out. What I wanted to do is I did promise everyone that stayed on to the end that they would be able to enter for a wonderful, wonderful 5-night vacation stay at a 5-star luxury resort. And it's real simple to enter. And if it's okay with you, Raymond, I'm going to really quickly flash on the screen how they can do that. And then we'll come back to your giveaway prize in just a moment. Does that sound good?
Absolutely.
All right. So here we go. I'll put it up on the screen for you watching live. And that is all you need to do. Now we give you permission to take your gaze away and actually type this in to a browser, into your phone. It needs to be on a web browser ultimately. It can be on your phone. And that is enter this web address, and it's ryp.im/vacation, all lowercase, ryp.im/vacation. And you basically go there. It's just a form. You'll fill that out, and you are entered. You're officially entered as long as you have a valid email address, because that is how we were going to get back to the winner. And it's a random drawing. So go ahead and go there now, enter your information, and we will randomly select the winner and announce it and let you know how to get that prize if you're the winner. And it's really simple. It's really awesome. Many destinations to choose from. And again, this is all brought to us by thebiginsidersecrets.com. My buddy Jason Nast has made this available to us to give away every single show. It is phenomenal. Now back to the man of the hour, Mr. Raymond Couzens. We're getting close to the end, Raymond. Before we announce your wonderful offer giveaway, it's free, people. What I like to do is I like to ask every one of my guests one question, the same question. And the reason is I realized how profound it became. I didn't realize it would be that way until I asked a second, a third, and a fourth. And I thought, wow, there's something to this. And so it's really neat in so many different ways. It's powerful. It's profound. It's a little personal. And I am amazed at the responses. And so before we do that, though, real quick, well, maybe not so quick, let's let them know what your giveaway is now so that they can take advantage of that and go take care of this at this very moment. I'm going to bring it up on the screen here. Go ahead and explain what this is to our viewers and who can qualify to get this.
It's a chance to spend an hour with me on a Zoom and take a look at your aspirations to grow your wealth and explain to you how the process is done, how very simple it is, and how we could teach this to a monkey. He could become a trained monkey. It's not hard, folks. You just need to know what to do, what order to do it in. But here's the but. I am going to be assessing you during that time to see if you've got the potential to control your emotions and your mind, because that's 80% of a successful trader is mind and emotion control. The other 20% is the learned skill. And so we spend a happy hour together, and at the end of it, if you think that's something you want to do, then we can certainly talk some more. But you will at least get some value out of it, because you'll learn a few things you didn't know about money, how money works, the stock market, how the stock market works, all the stuff you need to be an educated investor and have success in your retirement.
Right on. And how many people are you limiting this to, if any?
I didn't realize that we were going to do that, but let's say I like round numbers. So what should we say, 10?
Okay, so the first 10, because I'm thinking 1 hour. There's only so many hours in Raymond's days and weeks.
This is true.
Out of respect to you, and not have you be on the phone the whole time instead of doing your hobbies, playing your guitar when you get the time to do it. So yeah, so be quick about it. He's opening up to 10 people, and you see the URL on the screen there, and I put it in the comments section. If you didn't see that, then I'll just say it out loud. It's ryp.im/coaching-call, all lowercase again. So ryp.im /coaching-call. I believe that's your scheduler, Calendly scheduler.
Yes, correct.
Just find the slot that's open. Make sure the time zone is correct. Make sure to double check that, and then get scheduled. And do Raymond a favor and do yourself a favor. Ring true with your own commitment. And if you're going to do this, and you should do this, every one of you should do this to find out more about the financial world, how the stock market works, and learn something of value. Just be sure, if you do sign up, to show up. I mean, you've seen him, you've heard him. Look at this guy. Does he look like a snake oil salesman? No. Does he sound like one? No. Does he sound like he will help you? Yes. So why not? Why not dig into the beautiful brain of Raymond Couzens and find out maybe there's a fit, maybe not. You can tell he's not a hard sell artist. He's just going to determine, and it's a two-way street, by the way. You know, he's not just looking to see if you think you're a fit. He's also looking to see if you're a fit for him. It's a two-way street. And that's okay. There's no pressure. It's just have a chat, learn something, and at the end, you'll either determine if you're a fit and go to the next step. If you are, if you're not, you part friends. It's no big deal. But either way, you're going to get value from it. I know this from doing so many of these myself, from calling people like Raymond. It's a worthwhile hour of your time, especially when you have somebody like this guy on the side over here, Raymond Couzens, to chat with. My goodness, come on. All right, we're near the end. We're actually a little bit past on time, but that's okay. That's why I love this. We're not paying for studio time or anything like that. Let me clear that off the screen, the guest. So Raymond, this question to end the show with is, it's really awesome. Here's the thing with it is there is no such thing as a wrong answer. It doesn't exist. It's impossible. In fact, the only correct answer is yours. And quite honestly, that's the only thing that makes this personal. It's just unique to you. That's it. So it's not getting into your personal life or anything like that, unless you want to make it that way with your answer. But if it takes a moment or two to think of an answer, no worries. I mean, dead air time doesn't bother us because it's your answer. If it comes immediately, you'll know it. It doesn't matter how long it takes, though. So I wanted to take away all any suspense that goes with it now that it's really built up, in all honesty. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Of course you are. All right, here we go. Raymond Couzens. How do you define success?
I define it as helping as many people on the planet, which would include my own family, as many people on the planet as I can between now and however long I've got. That would be success for me.
You know it's coming. Oh my goodness, Raymond Couzens, it's been an absolute supreme pleasure to have you on the show. I cannot tell you how thankful I am and grateful for you to stepping up and coming on the show, spending your valuable time, sharing your wisdom, your experience, your value for people to model and find true success in their own right, for giving a gift of your time of an hour for a free coaching call. I'll put that up one last time here because it's important for people to reach out and connect with you. Another way to connect with Raymond, so that's one, is ryp.im/coaching-call. That's the best way, to be honest. Do you even want to give out another way to connect with you? And you can if you want. You mentioned it earlier.
Yes, my favorite social media is LinkedIn, and all you do is plug my name, Raymond Couzens, into the search bar in LinkedIn, and it'll find me. And once you find your way there, how to get a hold of me is all over the place.
Okay, and very important, the spelling of your last name is Raymond, Raymond. That one's pretty normal. Couzens is Couzens.
ENS, right. A little bit of a French influence there, I think, possibly.
It's beautiful because it makes you unique. There are very few. I don't know of any other. I didn't look for any other, but I've never seen that spelling of Couzens before, and that's really cool. I think that's a benefit for you.
I hope so.
All right. Well, that is our show for tonight. Thank you again, Raymond. I can't wait to see who won that wonderful prize for the giveaway of the vacation stay. And Raymond, if you will let me know who wins your thing, just out of curiosity. I'm curious. Who
Absolutely.
First 10. You don't really win. You just have to be one of the first 10 to go schedule a call with him. There's a place to put in notes on that scheduler, correct? For the person to add notes? I think there is. If there is,
I believe there is. I believe there is.
Just type in, heard about this from the Mind Body Business Show. And that way Raymond will know, and he'll set his counter by that. The Mind Body Business Show. Just enter that in the notes when you schedule your time to help Raymond out, to quantify how many people have come.
And my phone number is on that page.
Oh, perfect.
My mobile phone number. So any technical glitches, problems, phone that number, text that number. We'll get right back to you.
Spoken like a true entrepreneur, a fallback method. I love it. I love it. All right, Raymond, thank you so much. On behalf of this amazing man, I am your host, Brian Kelly of the Mind Body Business Show. That is our show for tonight. We will be back again very, very soon. Go to themindbodybusinessshow.com, scroll to the bottom, enter your information, and you will get an automatic notification of our next live show. That's all we use it for. We're not advertising anything on that. It's just to notify you, to remind you that another live episode is coming up with another phenomenal guest like this guy, Raymond Couzens. So until then, so long, everybody, and be blessed. Take care now.
Thank you all. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com. My name is Brian Kelly.